Around then for the reigning champions tonight, the ultimate game of two halves. Here is what their manager thinks of it all, Pep Guardiola.
Well, Pep, what did you say? It worked.
Do you believe in that?
It's a question.
Yeah, you have to prepare better.
People keep telling me that.
Yeah, I cannot deny how happy we are, but we are far away from the team that we were. Not in terms of play, because we play good in the first half, but there are many things in terms of competitiveness and in terms of what we have to do and many things that we are far away. So Rico Lewis concede 4 fouls. Of course, not yellow cards because it's Rico Lewis, and we don't react. So we give the first goal, and after the second goal is ridiculous. And we play short, and we play because our manager told me I have to play this, I have to do this, but there's nothing from the stomach, from the guts. And today we're lucky, but if we don't change, sooner or later we're going to again to drop points.
So what are the things that are missing? Guts, for one, from what you're talking about?
Passion, fire, and desire, and to win, and from the minute one. And it's the same with our spectators, our fans. So they are silent 45 minutes.
And then they booed at half-time, some of them?
Yeah, that's good. We play good. They boo because we're losing, but not because we play bad. We play good. We have more chances. Expecting goals from Tottenham is 0, plus 89. So we are better. They boo because we were losing. But maybe it's the same like our team. Maybe we are so comfortable winning 4 Premier Leagues in 5 years. And that's why we, and after we score a goal, they react. Yeah, but that is not the point.
So do you think from players and spectators, maybe 4 titles in 5 years, a lot of success, loads of success, maybe a little bit of fire's gone out of everything?
Definitely. Otherwise we don't concede the goals that we concede in every single game. We give them. And when I tell us score goals, yeah, congratulations, but we give them. And today we were lucky, but the day after we will not be lucky.
So how do you get that back, that fire, the guts you're talking about?
I will insist. It's my duty, my job. I want my fans back. I want my fans here. Not my away fans. My away fans is the best. But my fans here, for the new one, support in every corner and every action, and support it. And because we play, we cannot expect. So the Tottenham is one of the toughest opponents I ever faced from Antonio. How they defend, how good they are organized, how good they make a build-up, how they link with Harry Kane, how they Kulusevski song, even Betancourt in the other one. They make an incredible switch of plays in the opposite side. The threat they have in every single moment is incredible. So I could not expect it really here and force it in the 30 minutes. So I don't know that. But sometimes you need the game like we have done. But after we get them.
In some ways, do you think do the players need to give the spectators more? If you're saying the guts isn't there, the fire's not there, maybe that happens.
We have to do it, but everyone is like relaxed, So the Premier League don't wait. We have an opponent in Arsenal they have the fire.
Do you think they look like a team that hasn't won the Premier League for a long time, and you look like a team that's won it 4 in 5?
2 decades.
I know.
Without winning the Premier League. And every player knows we'll be in history, like we felt when we won the first Premier League and break all the records, and another one back-to-back, and 2 times back-to-back. Life in everything, we have the fire inside, is not. And we don't have to ask anything. I just explained the reality that everything is so comfortable. And the opponents don't wait. The opponents are there. You tell me, Pep, how bad? No, we're second in the league.
No, yeah.
So we are not 20 points behind.
But you're not happy. It's not my questions, is it? You're not happy with your players.
Of course I'm not. I don't recognize my team. My team always had passion, have desire in everyone, and run and everything. And
obviously you've told all this to them as well in the dressing room.
To tell you what I said.
Antonio, what's your reaction to that performance tonight?
Bad reaction, and it's difficult to explain the loss, but especially the second half, because I think that we played a good game. And if I have to compare the game that we played compare last season, I'm more happy today for the performance of my players, because today we played. We get the chances, and last season again Manchester City had a lot of possession ball, and we played a really good defensively game. But you know, at the end, it's important to have a result, and today we are talking about a loss, and for sure. My players, after a good first half, and with the whole team, we have to try to manage much better the second half, because when you consider the first goal after a few minutes, and then you have to, if you have experience, if you are used to, yes, if you are, I tell you, if you have experience, okay, you manage the situation much better, because you stay calm, you wait that tough moment, past the tough moment, yeah. But I continue to repeat the same thing. I think that the team is a good team, and we played good games. We are having a good performance, but you know. In the last two games we played against the first and the second on the table, and in these two games you can understand that we have a path to do, and I always spoke about the process. I think that Tottenham has just started this process to try to become more competitive and to fight for something important, and then we have to continue to work and to improve these players, also to improve the experience to manage this type of situation.
You can tell by his reaction, the smile so wide on his face, and for them to stay out there that long is quite unusual, Sean.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think at halftime whistle we heard a few boos here or there, and which I thought was unusual in general, especially with City being in second place. But I think the players responded in kind in the second half, and the fans responded in kind to what the players did. And at home, if you always have that fan base behind you, it's 100% like the 12th man, and it just pushes. Even if you're tired, you've managed to find that extra yard or that extra sprint, like the last tackle that Ake put in, where he tries to get slide. Normally he's tired, but the crowd keep you going, and you get that last run.
Winning ways, and they have reduced that gap at the top of the Premier League table. That was in their intention when they set off tonight. 5 points behind Arsenal. They played a game more. They have a slightly better goal difference. A reminder, of course, that they have to play the league leaders twice still this season, the first of which is in the 15th of February. And of course, before that, they play each other in the FA Cup as well. Spurs still 5 off the top 4. They've now played a game more than Newcastle and Manchester United. So next up, of course, both the top two are in action on Sunday, but City are at home to Wolves first. So, of course, if they win that, then when Arsenal take to the field at the Emirates against Manchester United, the gap then would just be 2 points. And, of course, the Premier League all begins with Liverpool-Chelsea on Saturday, then a goal rush with a huge game at the bottom, West Ham against Everton, and it rounds off with the Monday Night Football, because that's when Spurs are next in action. 6 defeats in 10 league games now, and they have a London derby at Craven Cottage. How significant does that feel for Manchester City tonight?
I think it's massive. I think it's almost like a statement piece, psychologically as well. Sorry, I think they've won that now. Now it's like, it's a statement saying to Arsenal, come on, it's on now. And you can see by the reactions of all the players that they seem to feel it in their heart as well. That Spurs don't often concede 4 goals. They concede goals, but that in the second half was basically men against boys. They just controlled the game to the point where they just curled up and just, in a way, just let them do exactly what they wanted to do, apart from giving away a few fouls. They panicked every time they had the ball at the back. They just kept kicking it off the pitch. They just couldn't retain the ball. And that's what City want you to do, try and play so they can intercept it and attack from high. And it paid off massively in the second half.
I think it was a huge statement from Manchester City, not only the 3 points, but the manner of it. Adversity, half-time, we're thinking such a strong bench, surely the manager will make changes. We had a sneaky feeling that he might go stubborn and stick to his guns because he doesn't make too many decisions wrong. And then he's got another one correct. He's left the same 11 out there and they've performed in the second half like he intended from the word go. But they had an uphill struggle, 2-0 down. But as soon as they scored that first one, there was only ever going to be one winner of that football match. And like I say, rolling the sleeves up, finding a way in front of their home fans. This is a statement win for them. They're back and they're the team to beat. If you're going to finish above Man City, you're going to win the Premier League.
And on that subject, we're going back to your experience as a Premier League winning captain. When you're not playing and you say, I'm not watching, or I'm going out to walk the dog, or whatever you do, and those Arsenal players at half-time would have looked at their tablets and their phones and seen that scoreline, and now they're looking. Well, even at this stage, what does that do mentality-wise?
Absolutely. I mean, you hear a lot of players that say, no, we're worried about our job, we're not worried about the others. It's total nonsense, total. They're there looking at that result at half-time, they're thinking, wow, this might be 3 points we haven't got to win. If we can, it helps us, it's going to help us along the way here. And then when they switch it on at the end and they see 4-2, it hits you, it makes you feel sick. But then you have to go and do your job. And now they're behind you now, they're coming, and they're coming strong because they have the experience of doing it. They've come from behind, they've won from the front, they know all different ways to win this Premier League. Now, Arsenal have to try and change the trend and do it for the first time in a very, very long time with these fresh players. Fantastic what they're doing up to now, Mikel Arteta's team, brilliant. Great young squad. Like I say, you've got Jesus who's had the experience, Zinchenko's had that experience, so they're helping them along the way. But there's a juggernaut coming, and that is Man City.
Well, it's all smiles now, but can you put yourself in that silent Manchester City dressing room at half-time?
Yeah, I've been there a few times back in the day, but for me, they responded perfectly.
They certainly did. That was Jack Grealish inside to him live outside. Great to see you, Jack. Thanks very much for speaking to us. Well, we've heard what it was like at half-time. Just describe what that second half was like to play in as a Manchester City player for us, please.
The second half was obviously brilliant. I think we come out, we started the second half perfectly. I don't even know how long it was before we got the 2 goals. So, like I said, for the first 7-8 minutes in that dressing room, it was quiet in there, as you can imagine. I didn't actually think we played too bad in the first half. I think we had probably the better chances, and then obviously, it was a bit like last week, really, where we conceded a goal and then we conceded another one straight after. So, it weren't the ideal situation, but I thought the second half was brilliant.
It had shades of the last day of last season, actually. When you got that goal, I think it was 6 minutes into the second half and scored again. Do you always feel with the talent you've got on the pitch, when you get one and you get the crowd going like you did, that you can go and get 3 and 4?
Yeah, definitely. I think it helps so much, like you touched on, the fans, when we got the second goal, you could really feel it. And you just feel like, you got everyone on side, and you feel, almost unstoppable, especially when you see the players that we've got, on the pitch. So, it was a brilliant second half, and like you said, it actually did remind me of the final game of last season.
Now, Jack, we've got one of your former managers with us tonight as well.
I can see him, what a legend.
He's been called worse.
I still call him Gaffer, actually.
You should do. Jack, listen, I thought it was your big moment of the weekend in the derby when you come on and scored. I had my fingers crossed, but it went against you. I thought you were magnificent tonight. At half-time when you're going in there, you and Riyad must have thought, because he changes the wide men so often when things are not going well, are you going to come off? I knew you was playing well, but did you think that?
Yeah, I did, truthfully. I thought, I was sitting next to Calvin in the dressing room, and I actually said to Calvin, I said, is he making any of these subs here? I was desperate not to come off. But do you know what? Like, against teams like this, it's difficult because obviously they played a 5 at the back, and you have Royale, who was obviously on my side, and then you have Romero, and then Kulusevski drops in as well. So a lot of the time, it's difficult. I have to, whether it be go back to find Rodri or Nathan, because when you get doubled up, there's a spare man somewhere else. So it was difficult, especially in the first half. But I feel like, in the second half, when the game opened up a little bit, it was better for us wide players. And, you touched on Riyad. I thought Riyad was, unbelievable tonight. Played a part in all 4 goals. So I think, he deserved man of the match.
Yeah, I thought you were brilliant. But when you go in at half-time and the manager makes a decision, he doesn't really get it wrong, does he, your man? He must be, is he possibly the second best manager you've ever played for?
I don't want to comment, I don't want to upset any of you. If I said yeah, I'd be on the bench next game, definitely. No, listen, he's obviously a brilliant manager, a pleasure to play for. And games like this, when stuff aren't going well, he just changes a few things. He pulled me over tonight. I'm not going to go into too much detail because he might keep the tactics for another day. But he pulled me over, and told me to tell Gundo something during the second half, which I think really helped in the game. So yeah, listen, he's a brilliant manager, and he gave us after the 8-9 minutes of silence in the dressing room. He gave us a team talk, and fully fired us up for the second half.
Jack, is Sean, man. Congratulations on the win and performance. I wouldn't say it was the highlight for me in your performance today, but when the ball comes out to Son, what was you actually thinking when you set off running? Because Son isn't the slowest player.
I thought I could be off here as soon as I went to go. Do you know what? Because obviously I was out for the short, and I don't know what happened. I think did the ball get headed out or something? And yeah, I don't know why. We're not usually like that, but yeah, here we are. Look at the pace.
Great pace, yeah.
This game, I just got asked that in there, and someone says to me, that was the highlight of your night. But it's what expected, when you're playing for a top club like this, and that's the demands that we have on each other. It's what we do on the training pitch day in, day out, and with all the talent that we have, I think little stuff like that is the reason why we're so successful as a team.
Jack, really well done tonight. Thank you again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Well done, mate.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Cheers, Gaffer.
Jack Grealish, live in brilliant form at the Etihad. So let's go through that astonishing start to the second half. Then, as I said to him, it took only 6 minutes. Alvarez and Haaland both scoring tonight in their second Premier League start together again.
Yeah, well, we all know they got bags of goals, and what Lewis does so well initially to get the ball there, but Mahrez, as we know, with his trickery, and it just stands it up. And City just tried to keep the ball alive. I think Lloris flaps there, but Alvarez again, if you see his run, he stretches the play, Lewis gets it, and he just runs, and a triangle gets tight on him, and he's just kind of drifting in the box, knowing that hopefully it's going to come in at one point, and he's just standing still. And for me, he reacts the quickest, but the finish is harder than he thinks. Yeah. He just side foots it into the top of the net, and it just nicks the top of Perisic's head. But that just set the whole second half off, really.
See, Jack Grealish goes in there, he knows he's not going to win that ball. He knows if he sticks his foot in there, there's a good chance that Lloris will flap at it and think that he might get hurt. And it's exactly what he did. Jack had no intention of trying to win that ball. He just swiped his right foot at it, and he just allowed Lloris just to palm it out, and it's a wonderful finish.
Were you worried that Tottenham might crumble the way they did at that stage?
Absolutely. Said it at half-time. As soon as they concede one, I fear for them, and I really did. I mean, it was just... It was a crumble analogy there. I mean, there's no other word for it. They just folded. Absolutely folded. That's another word for it. 2 words.
We'll have one each. And Erling Haaland got his goal in the end. He was a little bit frustrated in the first half, but he got his goal in the end.
I could understand it. I think he was going for a stage where they was looking for him at every chance they got. And I think in the second half, they tried that a lot more. They tried to play the ball around, they stretched the play. And this header and run from Mahrez is fantastic. And that's where we always see Haaland, in and around that 6-yard box, trying to make things happen, trying to force things. And he obviously sees the goalkeeper coming, but he plays it and he gets the goal, he gets his reward from it. But just everything about it, this run from Mahrez from outside to in after he plays the ball, and to header the ball the way he does on the run, it kind of just hits the side of his head and he just cushions it over, and that's the defender out of the game after that.
And Haaland's movement as well. He never stands still, the boy. He's always looking for it, and he could not believe it when that fell onto his head. He's been looking for a chance like that for a few games now, and what a relief to that one fly into the top corner.
That is 28 in all competitions for Manchester City since his move. But in terms of league goals, 22, 7 ahead of Harry Kane. And that is the most any player has scored in the Premier League for Manchester City already under Pep Guardiola. It's incredible, really. Sergio Aguero's most was 21.
Yeah. And Steve, can you believe, I'm listening to pundits, ex-professional footballers suggesting that they should go back to the false nine. How many more goals does this boy have to score? I mean, he don't score in 2 games and everyone's writing him off. He's a phenomenon.
I honestly have to agree. I think we can go back days and days. There's strikers, even in this generation, that go games without scoring in maybe, 3 or 4 games. But for some reason, with Haaland, if he goes 1 or 2 games and people are just saying he has a bad game, and like Tim said, they're saying revert back to the number 9. I think he's always primed himself on not having to touch the ball too much times, but when he touches the ball and he does something with it, something happens. And that's what he wants to do. He's always said that he'll be happy if he touches the ball 5 times in a game and score 5 goals. That is his dream.
Yeah.
And at this rate, he looks like he's getting closer and closer to doing that. If he hits form again and they create those sort of chances for him, like the one he had to tap in again, he will get there at some point.
Yeah, he's 1 behind last season's Golden Boot winner already as we approach the halfway stage. Hugo Lloris, we spoke about before the game and his recent form. Will he be disappointed with 3-2, Tim?
Absolutely. I think he
played Jack, incredible comeback, but let me take you back to the City dressing room at half-time. How much trouble did you think you were in?
Yeah, a lot. I thought we actually done all right in the first half. Probably had the better chances, and then it was a bit like last week, really. We conceded a goal, and then I don't know what, we took like a stupid free kick or something, and then we scored another one. So it weren't obviously the best dressing room at half time. It was silent for a little while at the start, but the manager spoke to us, give us some encouragement, and I thought we were brilliant in the second half.
So Riyad, when you're in that dressing room and, like as Jack says, it's silent, is your mind racing? Are you thinking about the league table? Are you thinking about Arsenal, or is it just focusing on the job in hand in the second 45?
Oh, you think about everything, really. Everything go through your head, but I think, like Jack said, we played good in the first half. We had the ball. They didn't have anything apart from the 2 goals we conceded. So when we come back, we was a bit frustrated at half time. When the manager spoke to us, and then we knew, and we've done it before, that we can come back from 2 or 1 or 2 goals behind, and that's what we did. I think we played so good second half. We showed what we are, and a bit of luck as well, but we provoked the luck and we deserve the win.
Jack, I saw you smiling when I asked Riyad if his mind was racing. Was yours?
No, not really. You're not really thinking about. Well, I weren't thinking about the table or anything that you mentioned. Just thinking about the game. Since I've been here, we've lost, I think, both games against Spurs. So
why do you think that is? What makes them a particularly difficult opponent for you?
Yeah, God knows, they sit in, they've got good, obviously Harry likes to drop deep, and then they have good runners in behind and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not too sure. And I thought that was the case, at half-time in the dressing room. But, in the second half, I thought just the way we started and the tempo, and the early goals to help. And Riyad was on fire, so it helped us.
You were on fire, Riyad.
Oh, we try. Yeah, it's all lucky, No, we try to, like he said, we start very good the second half, and we scored 2 goals early as well. So it put us in a great position to keep going and to push them. And I think, like I said, we deserve to win, and it's very good. We have to keep going.
Were you thinking, right, I'm going to be the guy, I'm going to get a grip on this, because the run for the first one, header back assist for the second one, then a couple of goals?
I'm going to be the guy, but I was trying, like everyone, I think even Jack, who tried to be more direct, more aggressive with the ball, and we start having chances, and then we scored. That's football, And I think second half we was top, and we scored 4 goals, so it was a good night.
Be more direct, was that the message from the manager?
No, we were actually speaking about it before the game, but it's difficult, man, against Tottenham, because obviously they have 5 at the back, and then the 2 wingers Kulusevski and Son, you know, also help out. So you have like the wing back, you have the right centre half, and then you have the right winger as well. So they like to double up, you know, and they sat in a low block at times. So for wingers, it was difficult. But yeah, in the second half, you know, once we got the goals, I think we were playing with confidence, and you know, I think in the end we deserved the win.
And very last one, I'm going to take you again back to the first half. My highlight of your game, that tackle on Son, racing back.
What tackle? Wow, I was scared. I thought he was gonna foul him. He was the last defender.
You know the one I'm talking about, don't you?
I know what you're talking about, but it's never a good sign when that's the highlight of a wingers match.
I didn't realise I was insulting you. Sorry, Jack.
I'm trying to think now, did I take anyone on or something?
It was a bad game, but I just thought it's not something we always see or associate with you, is all I was going to say.
Obviously, we've got to do it, haven't we? And I think, and then at the time, you know, I thought they had a break, and you know, Son's so good at this breaking away.
Not today.
No, I put a tackle in, and to be fair, I think anything could have happened, but luckily, you know, on the ball.
Right, on that note, do you want to hand the Man of the Match award?